Okay, these are the sizes I need to cut. When you look in the center of the paper on the right, you see that the centerpiece I need to cut, has a length of 122.4 centimeters and a total width of 9.8 centimeters. And the bottom piece has a length of 41.5 centimeters and a width of 29.7 centimeters. Now I'm sure the more observant among you will notice that these sizes seem a little bit more than what would seem to be called for. But don't forget, we have to work those pieces all up and around the edge for the centerpiece and all over the bottom and up the edges, the lower edges of the outer skin of the box. So we need a little bit of extra length and width. So there you are. These are the sizes I need to cut. So now I'll start cutting and I'll come back with another update. Okay, a short recap before I start upholstering the cabinet of the EverReady N3. As you can see, I collected a few tools like the hot air blower, which you see there, and a good pair of scissors, sharp and long, to make the necessary cuts. And then I also took a blunt kitchen knife, or well, maybe not a kitchen knife, but a regular knife. But the reason why I took this knife is because its edge up here is blunt and round, and technically speaking shouldn't damage the vinyl. And the reason why I need that knife is because you remember there's this slit cut all the way around the cabinet of the N3. Now once I fold up the vinyl up this side, I obviously need to push it into the slit for the upper part and the lower part. So I will use this knife because it has a blade which is not too thick, solid enough and blunt enough not to tear through the vinyl, but allowing me to put enough force on it to stuff it into the slit you see all along the box. And then lastly, I put masking tape, wide masking tape on the upper part. The reason is that I'm going to spray glue as well on the vinyl as on the wood, because as you know it's a contact glue which bonds immediately or practically immediately as it makes contact. I'll use the hot air gun to lightly heat up the vinyl where it shows some creases, and by applying just enough heat and rubbing with my hand, with the palm of my hand over it in both directions, up and down, left and right, I can smooth any creases in the vinyl. The scissors I'll use to cut what's left over of the vinyl here in the corner. Unfortunately, that means there will be a little bit of a split down the side of the corner, but you'll recall that the original covering had just the same problem. Obviously the upper part will be one long strip running all the way around the cabinet. So fortunately I don't need to cut it here, which is perfect. At least that will show a smooth flat corner in the vinyl. But where I will have to cut it is up here in the corner and then down the other side where it will fold over and inside the box. So that's the plan. I'll cut out of the vinyl the spaces where, for example, the switch will be mounted and where you have these blocks. These little blocks are built in to support the chassis, because as you recall, the chassis swivels up and down inside the box and it needs something to rest on. So that's what those little blocks are needed for. Oh, and just one interesting little detail. On one of the blocks there's a date marked and it says 10/11/54. So this makes me think that the box was probably made on the 10th of November 1954. That's an interesting detail. Now I don't know whether the chassis and the box were built on the same day, but it's my guess that the chassis was probably built around the same date. So all in all, this radio is pretty close to 60 years.
I'll show you what I got. Maybe you recognize this car.
Oh yeah. Now look up in the showroom. The head pieces here and everything.
Yeah? Alright, I'm gonna go put it away.
Alright. Yeah, I restored a big packet for this man that owned that car. A 1929 packet touring car. In those days, I used to paint cars what I thought they should be. So I painted maroon. But when he came to get it, he went nuts. Until he won first place. It was the best paint job. It was the first show he went to. And then he didn't complain anymore after that.
Now that the Packard is here at the shop, our first goal is to keep it safe and secure for the family. But I'm also going to have Roger check the engine, turn it over, and hopefully bring it back to life.
Good. That's excellent. Thank you. That is a big car. Look at that. How nice and long and sleek that thing is. Looks a lot better in my garage.
I'm going to have Roger show around the Packard. But first he's prepping a 356 Porsche for some engine work.
Where are my grippers?